morning. Welcome to Thursday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well and give you something to think about. This one is one of those challenges to think bigger, allow more, embrace it all. Kind of a good topic, I think. So, we'll give it a minute for everyone to pop on. For those of you who like to read along with me, if you dig out your Tosha Silver Outrageous Openness, that's where we're going to be operating today. But let us start with some tapping and some breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel what it feels like to bring that in through the nose. Good morning, Abigail. And out through the mouth. Shaking your shoulders a little bit. Boy, my neck is creaky. Got a little tickle too. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I feel like my neck is creaky because I was walking all over town yesterday. I walked to my haircut and then I walked to a meeting down at the library and put on a couple of miles there. So, but I was gawking around looking at all the stuff. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. Good morning, Beth. Breathe in and hold at the top. And let it go. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't it feel good, that exhale after you've been holding your breath for a bit? So again, today we have some, hopefully a provocative kind of a thing. She uses her astrological background. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you're here to lay the groundwork for a call to action on our part in terms of what are we allowing ourselves? What are we giving space to, and where are we boxing ourselves in? Well, I can't do that because, or that's not me because. Let's take a look at some of that stuff. So if you have the book, Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead by Tosha Silver, we are on the chapter called The Higher Octave, and it's page 179. And again, it starts with two quotes. And you all know, I think when we have a chapter that has two quotes, it's going to be a good one. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. So far, everybody today is coming to me from Facebook. Glad you're here. I'm hoping that LinkedIn actually is fixed. I talked to my Uber VA, Morgan, and asked her to check in with LinkedIn and see what the heck was wrong with it. And so far, knock wood, it's not giving me any messages that there's an issue, so we shall see. So our first quote, if you don't know it, you can't blow it. Louis Armstrong. So know your stuff, know your stuff. And the second quote is by P. Lowe, Lowe. And make this a mantra. This sounds like a lovely mantra. I am available for anything that wants to happen in this moment, including that which is beyond imagining. How's that for a quote? That's pretty cool. I am available for anything that wants to happen in this moment, including that which is beyond imagining. You could also add in there, I'm available for anything that wants to happen in this moment that's in my highest and best good and the highest and best good of those around me, including that which is beyond imagining. Now, imagine if you took that to heart and you believed that everything that happens in your world is precisely for that purpose, to make your imagining bigger, to draw you into greater and greater observations, greater and greater expectations, greater and greater things occurring. And if something happens that you can't quite understand or explain, all the better, all the better. Because if you stick with it, it's going to pull you to consider additional options, right? To open your heart to what could this be about? As my friend Lynn Schuster says, I wonder how this is going to work out. Yes. Thank you very much, Abigail, for posting that in our feed. I appreciate that. So let's read the chapter and see what we learn. The other day, a teenage friend was saying how all her current problems came from her sign. You're an astrologer, she said, so you know how all Scorpios are envious, right? We're controlling, vindictive, ruthless. That's just how it goes. We want what we want. Good God, girl, I said, laughing and throwing my arm around her shoulder. What bad astrology books have you been reading? You're just describing the worst of your sign, like a Pluto remainder item you get in the dollar bin at Walmart. There are higher octaves, you know, thus the title of the chapter. The higher octaves. Are we living into the good of what's possible? Oh, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. Both of you grabbed that quote. I love it. I love it. I love it. There are higher octaves. Are we living up to what's possible, or are we living down into limitation? Just a question. Scorpio, in fact, has three forms, with the lowest being the stinging scorpion she described. But as the sign evolves and purifies, does this not feel like our Earth, world, human population at this point in time is evolving? Some are devolving into this scorpion that she describes, but some of us are evolving to higher order ways of being. So the stinging scorpion, vindictive. Let's go back. Let us go back, shall we? Envious, controlling, vindictive, ruthless. Have any examples going on right now that we can look to? Bueller? But as the sign evolves and purifies, the energy of the eagle emerges, bestowing clarity, vision, and courage. Do we not see people right here, right now, demonstrating clarity, vision, and courage? In spades, in spades. And eventually, the phoenix, the magical bird with the power of rebirth, arises from the ashes. No phoenix wastes her time on resentments and revenge when she can be joyously, exuberantly soaring to the sun. How's this sitting with y'all? For me, this is like, oh, this is a beautiful explanation of what's going on right now. We have our choice. Are we going to be that stinging scorpion? Are we going to be that eagle who has the clarity? Or are we going to push ourselves even beyond that to that phoenix that rises from the ashes? In a given lifetime, the vast reservoirs of power, all Scorpios, and we're going to say all signs here because every sign has its evolution, the same kind of an evolution to that low vibration. Here are all the problems this can create, to the much higher vibration that augments our world, that makes things better. Okay, what do we choose? What do we choose? If you're us versus theming, you're in that lower vibration. Just saying. That the vast reservoirs of power all Scorpios have can be used to reach one of these more elevated expressions, or can be wasted on retribution and vendettas. But every sign has a high and low frequency, and nothing in a chart is inherently bad. Everyone has potential, luminosity, and grace. Let's try that on. Luminosity and grace. How does that feel? My shoulders go back. Luminosity and grace. Yep. Welcome to whomever else is here. Glad you're here. Names aren't rolling, but I see that we have 6 present right now. Glad you're here. So now she's talking about her own chart, which from an astrological perspective, for someone who's just beginning on that and doesn't understand the nuance, which would be me, you might say, oh my God, this woman's a hot mess. But she says, in fact, my own chart has 16 squares, which in classical astrology would have been called afflicted beyond belief. But a reader told me early on, use your potential wisely. All those squares give a ton of energy. You'll either be really helpful to people or a little nuts. Tosha says, or both. In a way, we're here to express the music of our soul. If yours sounds like jazz, then be jazz. If it's flute, be flute. If Black Sabbath, then what the hell? How did you find this book anyway? Sometimes I think we're drawn to the music in a given lifetime that we literally are, that carries our unique nature. So take a moment, think about that. If you were going to pick a type of music that was you, what would you pick? Put it in the feed. I'd love to see. And note there will be variety. And how awesome is that? And even though a particular kind of music doesn't chime for me, I'm all over it chiming for you because that's going to let you express the true you, right? You want to know about somebody, look at the books on their shelves and what kind of music they listen to. It'll tell you a ton about who they are. Astrology gives a miraculous lens into each individual's divine perfection. Then the culture's silly fixation on competition and comparison falls away. I was talking with a client yesterday about the comparison thing. It was poisoning her enjoyment of things in life, whether it was at work, whether it was the athletic things that she does, that comparison stuff was kicking her butt. And so we kicked that to the curb. Time to be done with that. No need, as she says, as Tosha says here, no need to compare yourself to anyone. When you try to march to the beat of someone else's drummer, what happens? It goes south quickly. You feel off kilter, you're less pleasant to be around, things don't work out well. Things don't work out. It's constant misstep, right? When you're marching to the beat of your own drummer, and when you surround yourself with people who will appreciate each other's drummers, life is good. Life is good. Find your people. And by your people, it doesn't mean people who think exactly the same as you. It means the people who appreciate where you think differently and lift that up, and you doing the same for them. Well, tell me about that. I don't quite understand how that goes. Tell me how you understand that. You believe this? Help me get a picture of that. Be curious. Be curious. And at the end of that, and then you're listening to understand. And then at the end of that, you can say, would you like to hear what I would say? 80s music. There we go. Boston, Elton John, Hart. There we go. There we go. Love it. Love it. Love it. I can relate to all of those. Yep. So what music speaks to you? So no need to compare yourself to anyone. In fact, you might just shudder at the thought. Your own karma is plenty. Your own karma is folk music or guitar, drumming, beautiful Native American music. Yes, yes, yes. I can see that in you. Yeah, I feel that in you. That's beautiful. Awesome. Some of us like disparate kinds of music. One day you're listening, I'm going to make stuff up here. One day you're listening to country, next day you're listening to acid rock, then you've got a symphony playing. Some people are very eclectic in their musical choices. Kind of speaks to who they are, isn't it? Yeah. So, what do we glean from this? What do we glean from this? That we don't want to box ourselves in. Well, I am a this, therefore I must believe that. I mean, Jonelle and I have gone around and around on that on our podcast, in terms of we don't have to box ourselves in like that. If we say, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm an independent, I'm a libertarian, I'm a whatever, or I'm a male or a female or gender neutral or whatever, what we each individually get to decide what that label means for us, right? Jonelle would identify as more conservative. I would identify as more liberal. Between us, do we have overlap? Oh my God, we have overlap. We think the same on many, 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 many things. So in putting the label out there, my question is, what's your purpose? Eclectic. There we go. We've got someone who's eclectic. Glad to hear it, Abigail. What's your purpose for putting that label out there? Are you asking people to put you in a box? Are you asking them what they believe that box means? So if someone asks you, well, are you more liberal or are you more conservative? I would probably say, tell me what those labels mean to you. Then I can probably answer your question better, because what you view as liberal or conservative may not be what I view as liberal or conservative. And it drives me crazy when someone says, well, you people believe. You don't get to lay that on me. You don't get to lay that on me. I know what I believe. I will tell you what I believe. If I believe, you're going to hear it with respect. So, but checking in with yourself. Where am I at on these things? How do I feel about this stuff? Who am I willing to share that aspect of me with? Because there are a whole lot of people out there, especially right now. There's so much intolerance that I'm not going to say, here's what I believe to certain people, because all it's going to do is invite a diatribe. They're not they're not wanting to connect. They're wanting to disconnect. And if you feel that energy, respond accordingly. Yes, don't like the labels. But the human brain is designed to put things into boxes, which I understand. Evolutionarily, it had survival value to be able to put things into boxes. That's a dangerous saber-toothed tiger. That's a rabbit that I can eat. Boxes. So, but we've got cortex. We've got cortex, and that can rise us above that penchant for putting things and people into boxes. So lots to think about today. Lots to think about. Even in terms of, yeah, what kind of music do I like? What kind of books do I usually read? Yeah. But I thought this was just an interesting call to action on our parts. Where am I limiting myself with a label? Whether it's an astrological sign, whether it's a political label, whether it's a gender label, where am I limiting myself by slapping a label? And how would I like to be instead? What would my phoenix look like? What would my phoenix rising look like? And if I don't feel like I can quite reach the phoenix yet, at least the eagle, the clarity, the vision. But please, let's not stay stuck or be stuck. Good morning, Barb. We're just about done, but we'll post the replay shortly. Let's not stay stuck in that low vibration level of functioning. That doesn't serve us and it doesn't serve anyone else. So have an awesome day. If you want to throw me a comment or two on this, that would be lovely. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. Remember that quote from the chapter. We can do so much more than we think we can. Let's go there. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.